Everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Cozy Christopher. Today we're going to talk a little bit about new gaming news within the PlayStation world. For starters, let's just jump into the two hot topics, or I guess the three hot topics of the week. Grand Theft Auto 5, right, is now under attack by lawmakers in the city of Chicago, saying that that particular game is starting to cause or it has a direct correlation with the violence that's happening within that particular city or area, if you will. And this isn't the first time that a game like Grand Theft Auto, or violent video games in general, like Grand Theft Auto, have been under fire by lawmakers. Very interesting to see what's going to happen with that particular circumstance, because that new particular bill is not just looking at Grand Theft Auto 5 in general. It's more so looking at any game that would cause what they say more violent actions or what have you by the video game players, where that particular game would make you want to harm others, violent type games, etc. And if you think about it, that's pretty much every video game at this point. We're going to jump into the state of play today, and we'll talk a little bit about kind of those types of games like Deathloop, Fortnite, all those different games that have kind of taken over the gaming industry at this point, and kind of the focus of gaming right now. So real interesting to see what will happen with that particular circumstance. IGN did a really great video on that today, where they talked about different studies and scientific reviews and different things like that from the mind state of playing violent video games versus actual actions in real life. So I'll link that video below for you all to take a look at that, because it was a really, really good video, and they had really good examples of studies that have been done to prove that gaming does not actually correlate with physical actions in the real world, no matter how close in proximity they look to the real life events, if you will. Secondly, Ragnarok. So Ragnarok is not coming out in 2021. We found that out this week. It looks like it's going to be pushed out to 2022, which is kind of what happened last time with God of War. So we'll see if that thing, is early 2022, summer, whatever. As long as we don't do a cyberpunk situation with that particular game, I'm okay with them taking a little bit more time for it to come out, regardless of kind of what's going on within the PS5 ecosystem of exclusives, if you will. Thirdly, Horizon Forbidden West was confirmed to come out in the second half of 2021. So that's a big plus for us. I'm actually kind of glad that that game does not come out at the same time as Ragnarok, because I don't really want to go through that whole process of which one do I play first, push one off to the end, or push one off to later, or try to play them at the same time and not really enjoy them individually. So I'm actually excited that that one's confirmed for the latter half of 2021, and I'll jump both feet in on that one. So yeah. So let's get into the state of play today. And my gosh, like literally, what were your thoughts? Just what was your thoughts? My thoughts on the state of play today was meh. Like at best, it was, I'm worried a little bit about, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that back, because originally I still think that the PlayStation 5 came out too early. I don't think it was ready to release. So that's neither here nor there. That's just me going back to another review that I did earlier. But I'm a little worried about this state of play, pun intended. The games that we saw today, not much to be excited about. We got a good glimpse of Returnal, a little bit more footage on that particular game. That's an exciting game. It still looks like it's going to come out in 2021. They went into kind of a little bit more about the system, kind of what the game is about, a little bit more details around the Returnal, the kind of die, wake up, repeat it, type process that game is going to be about. So, I mean, it still looks like an interesting game. It almost reminds me of like a modern Contra. Not really in my current state of gaming, it's not really my cup of tea, if you will. But I am looking forward to actually playing that game, because the storyline looks kind of cool. The graphics looks cool. The kind of restart, different, the world is different when you wake up. That process seems to be kind of cool. So excited to play that game, when it comes out this year. So that is an exclusive that should still continue to come out this year. Secondly, they announced Crash Bandicoot 4 coming to PlayStation 5. Man, like back in the day, like when I, first started playing PlayStation, like the Crash Bandicoot series was phenomenal for me at that point. But as I got older, I moved away from like the kind of just, fun type games where you're kind of just blowing stuff up, stage, going from stage to stage to stage. That's still cool for a lot of players. So I'm excited for that particular game for those players that enjoy those games. But I'm not really, myself personally, I'm not excited about that particular game. And I probably won't play the 4, and I probably won't play the new one that comes out unless somebody wants me to review it. So let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see, because my perspective is that I'm a story player game at this point. Other than Grand Theft Auto 5, nothing wrong with going in there and just meddling around at night. But I'm a story type playing, a story game or RPG, based game player these days, if you will. So those types of games don't really excite me, but like I said, if you all want me to review it, I'll go ahead and play that. Another game that I was super excited about, and this, I don't remember seeing this one at the last video game show for PlayStation, Sifu. This game looks freaking awesome. And I don't know, from the video, we couldn't really see if it's something that is extremely repetitive, different things like that. But it looks like there's progression from, yourself as a young person into a master or Sifu, as they would say, as an older practitioner of the martial arts. So I'm excited to see, if there's a storyline that goes along with that particular video that they showed today. I'm not thinking that that's really gameplay. It seems like it's more along the lines of just kind of showing you what the game is about and kind of some of the things that it's going to be capable of doing. But it didn't really seem like an actual trailer to me. So I'm excited to see what that's going to look like in the future when it actually drops. So that game was super, super fun. I'm really hoping that they redo Tenchu. I don't know if you all are familiar or remember the game Tenchu from back in the day, but I'm really excited to see if they come out with that game. Tenchu, Ghost of Tsushima was kind of like Tenchu, but it wasn't, as much like that, because that was a complete kind of silent stealth ninja-based game. So I'm excited to see if they remake that game in the future. I don't know, maybe I should start a petition or something like that. But that would be cool if they made that game in the future. Another game that I'm excited, kind of about is Kena Bridge of Spirits. We saw that in the game show before. They showed a little bit more in-depth a preview of that game today. It looks super cool. It's kind of interesting that with the new graphical power of the new systems, they're focusing on highly animated video games at this point. Not as much as surrealism or realism as I would expect. With the new powerful systems, between the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, it seems like that first slate of games is really focused on highly animated games. But that could be because it's kind of like a hangover between the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, or Xbox One X and Xbox Series X. So we probably won't start seeing those highly graphical, more real-to-life type style games until maybe 2 or 3 years, 4 years into the new system, if you will. But it does seem like a lot of the games that they're focusing on right now is very, very animated focused, and not really the realism that you would expect, right, from the power of the new systems. So I guess let's talk a little bit about kind of the in regards to like the state of play. Let's talk a little bit about the kind of the theme of gaming right now. Ever since PUBG Battlegrounds, Fortnite, those type of games have come out, it seems like almost 3 out of 5 games is now that type of video game where it's you're in a big map. There's not really a story to it. It's just a bunch of online melee, for lack of better terms, right? There's so many different games that you can think of, out right now that, Hyperscape, etc. Right? There's a bunch of them that are just solely focused on dropping you onto a large online map and just going at it for hours. And there's the systems where you build up your characters, you build up their firepower, you build up those different things. There used to be the heavy crate system. They're kind of going away from that a little bit now, but I mean, it's still available. I'm interested to see what you all's thoughts are on those type of games, they're not that interesting to me. So I mean, again, and it's not just because I'm a story, type focused player, but it almost feels like to spend like 80, 90 hours, in a game, and all you have is like a stronger character, and you kind of just keep going out there. For me, it just doesn't do much. Now, Call of Duty, Warzone, like those type of games, because they're more realistic, kind of, not completely, but more realistic type. I would play those games every once in a while, but I'm not feeling the state of play, if pun intended again, the state of play, if you will, in regards to all of these, the death loop, the new game death loop, and it looks cool, but I just know in myself I would play it about a week before I would be completely, exhausted and tired of that game. So I'm interested to see what you all are thinking about, this current generation of gaming that we're seeing with, all of these different games in this particular. I mean, they even came out with a new one called Knockout City today, and it's this time it's not guns. It's like dodgeball, and it looks really cool. It's kind of like a futuristic dodgeball type game where you have a dodgeball, and you can catch it and you can throw it and hit people, and you powered up, and you do special moves with it. But it's basically this same exact game, and I feel like they're using the same architecture in these games. I mean, it's a map. You drop into the map. You throw the ball at each other or shoot at each other with these crazy powered guns and powered dodgeball. And you kind of wash, rinse, and repeat, right? And you do that over and over again. And for me, it's just not that exciting. So I digress a lot, right? So I'm interested to see what you all think about that particular style of game. Let me know in the comments if that's something you enjoy, or, where your mindset is as far as like the current games in that genre that are out right now. All right, so I mean that's pretty much it for today. I just wanted to do a quick reaction to that kind of state of play video. I'm kind of worried about where we are right now in gaming as far as availability, but there are a lot of things that are going into that right now. Again, this is a constant thing that comes up, but COVID and development studios not being able to be in building and different things like that, working with each other in collaboration to create these, to work on these current games and things like that, are pushing timelines out, understandably. So we're just going to have to deal with that for now. But I look at kind of the kind of what's going on over in Xbox and how they're consistently buying these studios, or working on towards getting their exclusives out. And there's not a lot of information on a lot of things that's going on over there. There's a lot of buzz around like the new updates to the system and different things like that, but not a lot of buzz in general around exclusives right now. So it's a very interesting time within gaming. I've said it over and over again, and people like to argue about this, but that's why Game Pass is so important, because it allows you to kind of just mess around with these different games, old or new or what have you. Also, kind of interesting of what I've seen lately is that PlayStation is now, with its exclusives, starting to think about and invest more in bringing those to PC, which is super, super interesting, because kind of what has made PlayStation the kind of holy grail of gaming, if you will, is that they have exclusives that you cannot play anywhere else, and you're forced to kind of play, to pick up a PlayStation if you want to play those games like God of War, Last of Us, Nathan Drake and that series, and different things like that. So it's super interesting that they're now starting to look at bringing their games to the PC. And I'm wondering if they're starting to feel the pressure of kind of what Xbox has going on with Game Pass and the ability to play these different games across multiple platforms. And I'm wondering if they're starting to realize that that's the wave of gaming right now, and that they need to jump on board before it's too late. Because that is so interesting that they're starting to do that now. So let me know your thoughts on that. But again, this is all for me today. Just wanted to come do a quick video around the state of play. It was super, super, super meh for me. I mean, it it doesn't seem like much is happening, much is going on, not much new. And the stuff that was new, it just wasn't exciting at all. I mean, it seems like a bunch of $39.99 games, but no real blockbusters. So yeah, that's it for now. I hope you all are staying cozy in that crazy world. As always, please like, share, subscribe. That helps me on YouTube and it helps my channel grow. So looking forward to the next video. I got some stuff coming up, some reviews that'll be coming up this week and next week. So again, hope you all are off to a great start this year. Stay cozy in that crazy world. Now see you next time. Peace. I'm in your atmosphere.